The 6 best credit cards in 2022 for complete beginners. So this video is for someone who has never had a credit card in their life, or maybe had some credit problems in the past and is looking to rebuild their credit. But before we get into my card recommendations, there's a few tips that I have for you so that you use these new credit cards to build your credit score, to improve your credit score, not to hurt it. So the first thing I want to talk about is all the cards we talk about in today's video have no annual fee. So why this is important? Because 10% of your credit score is your average age of credit. So the longer the average age of your credit, the higher your score. This isn't the most important factor, but for example, if you signed up for a card today that has an annual fee, a year from now or 2 years from now, you have a higher credit score. But the thing is, you're no longer using this card and you don't want to pay this annual fee. So you close that card and all of a sudden the age that you built up on that card, you've had it for 2 years, all of a sudden disappears from your credit score, which could bring your score down a little bit. If all the cards you get initially have no annual fee, you can just leave them open to infinity. And over time, the average age of your credit is going to continue to increase. The second tip is every single month you need to make at least a minimum payment. So what's going to happen here is you're making the minimum payment every single month. The credit card company is going to send to the credit bureaus that you are making on-time payments. This is the most important factor when it comes to your credit score. I had some issues a few years ago when I shut down one of my previous businesses. I missed a few of my payments and my credit score is still hurting to this day, 3 years later from that happening. So make sure that you make that minimum payment, get the little green check every single month, and you're going to see your credit score increase quite rapidly in the first couple of months of having these new cards. The third tip is to pay your cards off in full each month. So I said at a bare minimum, make the minimum payment. If you can pay everything off every single month, that means you're not going to be charged any interest on any of these credit cards. Some of the cards that we're going to talk about today won't allow you to carry a balance. They're paid off completely every single month or even on a weekly basis. But if you do have cards that allow you to carry a balance, if you just make the minimum payment and carry a balance, that means you're going to start earning interest, which could be in the teens or even high 20%. So that adds up really, really quickly. So hopefully you can pay off all of your cards 100% every single month. Tip number 4, keep your credit card utilization as low as possible. So this is 30% of your score, the second most important factor. So your utilization can change from month to month. If you have a high utilization one month, your score may go down, but if you pay that off, you're going to see your score jump back up. There's no kind of permanent damage by having high utilization for a short amount of time. But if you want to have a high credit score, for a good credit score, you want to have your utilization below 30%. For a great score, keep it below 10%. And the thing is, with your first credit cards, your credit limit may be $200, $500, $1,000. So 10% of $500 is only $50. So you're not going to be able to put all of your spending on any of these cards and expect to have low utilization and a high credit score. So you want to maybe pay for gas, pay for a couple of meals, and just use the cards, pay them off, and get the on-time payments, have your low utilization. And you'll see over time when you apply to new cards, you'll get higher limits. And then you can, at that time, put more of your spending on your cards, get cash back, get points for travel. But at this stage, make sure to keep your utilization low, keeping your score as high as possible. Tip number 5, even for beginners, make sure that the cards you're getting have some type of reward. So every card that we're going to talk about in today's video has some type of points or cash back. None of the cards are just spend on it and get nothing in return. Before we get into the 6 best credit cards for beginners, if you want to learn more about anything we talk about in today's video, check out the description below. Card number 1, and probably the card I would recommend everyone apply for, is the Discover It card. So there's actually 3 versions of this card. There's the normal Discover It card, there's the student version, and there's the secured version. So let's just talk about the main Discover It card and know that the other 2 cards have slightly different features that you can read about on their website. But the main Discover It card has a rotating category where you earn 5% cash back. So here are the different categories for 2022. Any spending in those categories up to $1,500 per quarter, you get 5% cash back. Any spending above that or in any other category, you get 1% cash back. And the nice thing is here, all of your spending in the first year, they actually double the cash back. So if in the first year you earned $100 of cash back at 5% and 1%, they double that and you would earn $200 that they pay out to you at the end of the year. As I mentioned before, there's 3 different versions of this card. So what I would recommend doing is going to the website. Down below, you can see if you're pre-approved. So what I would do is apply for just the normal Discover It card. And if for some reason you don't qualify for that card, they may say, hey, right here it asks, are you a student? So if you are a student and check yes, then you may qualify for the student card. Or if you don't qualify for the normal Discover It card, that they could say, hey, you could apply for the secured card. So that's why I would start out with this. It's a great beginner credit card. I've heard of people that are 18 years old that have no credit history getting approved for the normal version of this card. So I would say, try that first. They would probably guide you to the student version or the secured version if you don't qualify for the normal one. Beginner credit card number 2 is a credit builder card. So there's 3 cards that I'll briefly mention here. So you have the Chime credit builder card, you have the Borrow Believe card. Both of these cards, there's no rewards though, but there's no annual fee or no interest. They're kind of like prepaid cards. So the thing is, you have a checking account with either of these banks. If you have direct deposit, they'll allow you to create the credit builder card, and you essentially send money over to that card, and then they allow you to spend whatever amount you have on that card. The reason I like the third card that I'm going to talk about that I recently just got to test out for all of you is the Yotta credit card. This is different in a couple of ways. They basically take whatever you have as a balance in your Yotta account, your checking account, and they say that's your available credit on the credit card. You don't have to transfer money onto the card first. It's basically like, hey, whatever you have in your balance, we're not going to let you spend more over here on the credit card. Also, you don't have to have direct deposit set up to get this card. And the nice thing is you do earn tickets in the weekly drawings based on your spending, and you can get your purchases 100% paid for. So you have 1 in 100 purchases to 1 in 50 purchases, 100% reimbursed. Plus they have some deals where you could even have chances of a 1 in 5 odds of getting your purchase 100% paid for. So I like this card. There's no credit check. You just have to have your account set up with Yotta and apply for the credit card. So I'd say for almost anyone, get the first 2 cards I talked about, one of the Discover cards and a credit builder card. Wait a couple of months, have on-time payments, have low utilization. You'll see your credit score start to climb, and then apply for some of the other cards that we're talking about today. Are you interested in automating your finances? Do you want to set it and forget it? We have a free course that'll walk you through step-by-step how to do just that. If you're interested in signing up, check out the link in the description below. Beginner credit card number 3, the Capital One SavorOne card. One of the reasons I like Capital One, they also have the ability to get pre-approval. You can see here right at the home for their credit card, see if I'm pre-approved. The thing is, I wouldn't recommend getting their secured card because there's no cash back, no rewards or anything. You can see that right here, the Platinum MasterCard. But if you have some of the previous cards, have built up your credit score a little bit, you can see that they have 2 different options for the Capital One SavorOne card. If you click on Dining and Entertainment, what you'll see here, they have the Savor Rewards and then SavorOne Rewards and SavorOne Rewards for good credit. So I wouldn't recommend for a beginner getting the Savor Rewards because it does have an annual fee, and the benefits, there's not a huge difference between the SavorOne and the Savor. And so what you can see here with both of these, you would get 3% cash back on dining, entertainment, streaming, and groceries. And if we scroll down a little bit further, so the nice thing with the pre-approval, you may just get approved for the normal one, not the good credit one, if you're starting to build your credit score, making on-time payments. And the nice thing is here, there is a $200 bonus if you spend $500 on the card in the first 3 months. The good credit one doesn't offer that. Also, there's 0% APR for the first 15 months with this card and not available here. But to see what good credit means to Capital One, I have not declared bankruptcy or defaulted on a loan in the past 5 years. I have a credit card or loan and have not been more than 30 days late on any payment in the last year. So as you can see here, this isn't going to be the very first card that you get. You need to have some other type of credit product, a credit card or loan, to be accepted. But if you got some of the other cards, there's a good chance that you fit into this good credit or maybe even get into the excellent credit if it's a couple of months after getting some of the earlier cards we talked about. Now moving on to card number 4, the Apple Card. So I have a review video about the Apple Card. I think it's a great card for a lot of different people. And the nice thing with this card is you can get accepted for the Apple Card if you have a credit score in the low 600s. Obviously, this isn't for everybody. You need to have an iPhone. So if you had an Android device, maybe go with the Capital One card and not with the Apple Card. But the nice thing with the Apple Card, you can get 3% cash back when making purchases with Apple in the App Store or at select merchants, the ones that I show right here. Also, whenever you pay with Apple Pay, you get 2% cash back. And unfortunately, anytime you use the cool titanium card, you only get 1% cash back, where with a lot of other cards, you can get something above that. You manage your Apple credit card within the wallet app of your iPhone. It's really easy to use and intuitive. And if you saw my recent video on asking for a credit limit increase, after a handful of months of having this card, you can easily message them within the app and ask them to increase your credit limit. The higher the credit limit you have on the cards, the more you could spend on it and still have a low utilization. And after a handful of months, get a credit limit increase on the card, helping your score. Beginner credit card number 5, the Pedal 2 card. So you can see at pedalcard.com, they have the Pedal 1 and the Pedal 2 card. The thing is, I would recommend getting the Pedal 2 card because you get 1% cash back on all of your spending. After making 12 on-time payments, they'll actually bump that up to 1.5%. So no matter what you spend money on, you're getting 1.5% cash back, which isn't too bad after the first 12 months. Plus they have select merchants where you can earn from 2 to 10% cash back. One of the interesting things with Pedal is that they don't rely on your credit score. They basically have you connect your bank accounts and they analyze essentially the cash flow, your personal cash flow. So what are you spending money on? How much money is coming in? Are you going to be able to be responsible with your credit card? So I think the Pedal 2 card makes a lot of sense for someone who has a nice, stable income, but just hasn't built their credit score yet. The Pedal card can be a great way for them to just have access to your bank account, know that, hey, you're doing a good job with your money, and they could give you a decent credit limit based on your income, not necessarily based on the credit score that's probably lacking in this department. You can see here they could give you a limit from $300 to $10,000, 1 to 1.5% cash back, no fees. So this is definitely something looking into for a lot of beginners. Card number 6, the Tomo card. So the Tomo card is kind of a mix of some of the cards we've been talking about, kind of like a credit builder card, kind of like the Pedal card, where what they're gonna do is they're gonna wanna have access to your bank account, they're gonna analyze that and then give you your credit limit. But the difference compared to normal credit cards where you have a month of spending, then you have your statement, then you have 25 days to pay it. What the Tomo card is gonna do is whatever you spent within a particular week, you're gonna have to pay for it the following week. If you're not able to make 100% of that payment, then they're gonna freeze the card. Also, I forgot to mention, you do get 1% cash back on all of your spending with this card. As I said, none of the cards mentioned in this video have 0 rewards. If you don't have a built-up credit score, you have a decent income, and you know that the money is going to be in your account every single week to pay off the Tomo card, this card could be a nice option for beginners. So if I was starting from scratch today, building my credit, here's what I would do. I would end up getting 3 of these cards in a period of 3 to 6 months. So maybe get the Discover It card today. The same day you could get the Yada credit card or one of the other credit builder cards, given there's no credit check necessary for those ones. So you could have 2 cards right away, and over a couple of months, say 3 to 6 months, making on-time payments, having a low utilization, you're gonna see your credit score start to climb at that point. If your score is in kind of the low to mid 600s, then you should be able to get the Capital One Saver One card for good credit or the Apple card. After having those 3 cards for a period of another, say 3 to 6 months, you should see your score there in the high 600s or maybe the low 700s. And at that point, you should be able to apply for most other credit cards. So I would probably from that point, get a few additional credit cards, all with no annual fees, making sure that you can keep these cards for a long time, never have to close them, but make sure that you can manage whatever amount of cards that you're using. If you want to learn about the best cashback credit cards in 2022, check out the video up above right here. If you want to see the best overall credit cards this year, check out the video below. Hope to see you in those in future videos. Bye.